am Ms. Hatcher, and I am the Work-Based Learning Coordinator, and I want to thank everyone for coming. Please bear with me, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not used to talking to parents and students and people for the first time, so I'll breathe. Okay, you can just click. If you need to reach me here at the school, this is my phone number, and or you can email me. Also, as parents, you can also sign up with Remind so that you get messages. Know that I will send your students, your children, constant messages to remind them that the meeting is about to start, that your assignment is due. I notice that students usually start assignments at the last minute, which I understand, but we shouldn't. But I just kind of remind you, so I'll keep moving on. Okay, the purpose of work-based learning is to build employability skills. We want our students I know some students say, well, why do I have to join work-based learning? I could just get a job on my own. But the purpose of work-based learning is to help students to think about how they work. A lot of employers realize that they have young people who work for them, but they don't understand that they need certain soft skills, to learn how to communicate, to check their attitude, prepare a resume and things like that. So we want them to think about what they're doing in work-based learning. Next one, and you also earn credit, high school credit for it as well. Placements. Placement in a family business is not appropriate, so students cannot work in a family business. So they also cannot work in a home office or private residence. The business must be licensed. It must have a business license in order for them to work there. Next slide. The training plan. We will develop a training plan between myself, the employer, and the student. And the training plan pretty much tells me as the work-based learning coordinator what the child or student will be learning how to do at that job. So the employer lets me know, I kind of develop it, the student lets me know, and we kind of make out the training plan. We don't expect the student to know how to do everything on that training plan at the beginning of the school year, but as you work at that job, you'll get better at it and you'll be graded based on that. Once every 9 weeks, students will be graded by their employer as well as me, the coordinator, on how they're working. Whether or not they get there on time, do they have a positive attitude, do they turn in assignments on a regular basis. Now, I know an employer, you don't always have to turn in assignments, but for me, you have to turn in an assignment. So I'll be grading you based on that. So those are the things, and that grade is a test grade. That grade is a test grade. Also, evaluations are aligned with the Georgia BEST requirement, which is a certificate that students will earn based on them learning certain soft skills. And I'll let them know more about that later. The hours of requirements. Students will receive elective credits for work-based learning as all of your children or students here only have one work-based learning period that they'll be here. That's the 4th period, or they leave. During the 4th period, you get 1 credit for that. If your work-based learning course is listed as language, arts, or math, it would count towards HOPE. Otherwise, it does not count towards HOPE. And if you have questions, I will open it up so you can ask me questions. Next. Communication. There is on the Paulding County website, we have under student support, if you hover over student support, you'll see a lot of the documents that students will need, and it will also let you know of the meeting dates and times that we'll have, and it will be located on that. Also, timesheets. I usually do make copies of the timesheets for students, and I've included it in the folder. But if you don't get the timesheet from me, they can also print it off from the website as well. Attendance and record keeping. School and work-based learning attendance is when students leave the building, they have to sign out with me. So I know some schools they have you sign out at on an app, but I prefer to get to know your faces because I don't want you to just leave and I don't know. I'm like, who's that person? And I do have a name deficit, so I'll ask you your name 50 million times and be like, Ms. Hatcher. But I will ask you. But the more I get to see you, the more I get to remember who you are, and this will help me out. So, and I want to know who you are as you sign out. This way I can also communicate with the students about any assignments that are missing. You can ask me questions before you leave, whatever it is that you need to know. You may not sign out early. Some students try to sign out early. I prefer that you wait until that time. that you're supposed to sign out for. For legal reasons, we don't want you to sign out early and say, you know, I have work-based learning, so I can leave early now, right, Ms. Hatcher? No, you leave out when you're supposed to leave. Don't have other students sign out for you. You can't have your friends sign out for you. You need to come in and sign out. There's a sign-out sheet that I'll have at my room, and you sign out there. If you do not attend school, then you cannot go to work. So don't think, okay, I guess, well, you know, work is more important. I don't want to hear that. No, school is more important. So you need to come to school. If you decide that you're sick or whatever, then you don't go to work. But you must let your employer know that you can't come to work either. It's not your parents' responsibility. It's not my responsibility. You need to call your employer and let them know that you can't come to work for whatever the reason. If you must schedule doctor's or dentist appointments, try to schedule it outside of the school hours. Make sure that that you're not missing work, you're not missing school in order to go to the doctors. And I know that's not always possible, but try to do it as much as you can. No show to work, not attending monthly meetings, not completing monthly assignments, or signing in or out could result in your removal from the program. I will give you warnings to say, you know, you forgot to sign out, and I know students will know on that timesheet. I'll say, were you really absent that day, or did you just forget? And I know sometimes students might forget, but try not to forget, because that deducts points from your grade by you forgetting. So I prefer that you do sign out, and if you do forget to sign out, I will put on, usually on my timesheet, and I'm kind of like a micromanager on that part, I'll write on the sheet, were you really absent on that day? And you let me know if you really were absent. Oh, Ms. Hatch, I really forgot. So try not to make it a habit, though. Meetings are mandatory and are held once a month, and they count towards the Georgia Best Certificate. We have meetings once a month, and normally last year we started at 8 o'clock, but I felt like it wasn't enough time when we met from 8 to 8:20, because I want to be able to give students what they need to know, give them information. So we have decided 7:45 will be the meeting time. It'll be once a month, and the dates for those meetings will be set by August 1st. When you come back on August 1st, I'll give you a list, and you'll have that sheet. I also have it posted in my room so you know. I will also send you reminders to say, don't forget the meeting is on Tuesday at 7:30. Don't forget. I know sometimes students will say, oh, I overslept, I forgot. Make sure you're here on time, and that's what we'll do in that part. The meetings count as a grade. All assignments and timesheets are due at that meeting. Timesheets, students didn't seem to realize. Last year was my first year, and the biggest problem I had with students and timesheets was that students would forget to get their timesheet signed. But y'all don't forget to get your paycheck. I noticed that. Everybody gets their paycheck. They were like, Ms. Hatcher, I couldn't get my timesheet signed. So I'm thinking, when you get your paycheck, get your timesheet signed. And I'll try to send you a reminder to make sure you get your timesheet signed. But timesheets, remember this forever, is a test grade. That's the easiest test grade you could ever have. Filling out your timesheet, have your employer sign it, and come to me the first day of the meeting. If you forget to bring it to me the day of the meeting, the highest you can get is a 75 on that test grade. There are some students who, in the past, they would bring it to me like 2 weeks later. I really was supposed to give them a 0. I felt bad. I gave them a 50, but I realized that that's not a good idea. So the thing is for you to remember to get your timesheet signed. If I notice that your timesheet is not signed or I don't have it, I will send you a reminder and say, oh, I didn't get your timesheet. Don't forget. So I'll try to remember on that part. But it's not, I don't have to do that, but I do it because I don't want you to fail. I don't want you to fail. Students are going to design a career portfolio. It's a state requirement, and it counts as your final exam. Each month you have one assignment that you are responsible for doing. It might be, one assignment might be to write your resume, another assignment might be to think about why you joined work-based learning, what do you want to be when you grow up, what school do you want to go to if you're going to go to college, things like that. So these assignments, they're usually about 1 to 2 pages that you'll have to write per month. That is your homework. So that's your monthly assignment. It's a classwork assignment. It's not a summative grade, it's a formative grade, but it is important, and it can mess you up if you forget to do it. If it's not in on the date that it was due at, on the meetings, if you don't have it in by the meeting date, it's 10 points off. And each day after that is 10 points Most of them have good attitudes when they're in the classroom, but we must remember that we have to have it in both places. You must have a good attitude at work. Most of my work-based learning students, the employers are so happy to have you because they know that you realize this is important. And what I hear from most employers is that their work-based learning students are the best out of all the other students that they have. But just remember, if you have a question, you have a problem, please come to me. I think I'm usually pretty nice and I'm understanding on things. Let me know ahead of time if you have an issue. And I know sometimes people will come in and they're like, the other things happen that were not going on at school or someplace else. Just breathe. We all go through different things, but make sure that you have a positive attitude at all times. If there's a problem with getting an assignment in, and sometimes students get stressed out about that, just let me know, Ms. Hatcher, this is what happened. I might say, oh, okay, I understand, but you still got lose 10 points. But we'll work through this, okay? So just to let you know on that part. Failure to meet these goals can result in termination. So we want you to excel academically in the workplace and your job performance. Not doing those things correctly could end up in termination. So if your employer tells me that you always have an attitude, we can't talk to them, whatever, and they're not approachable, if you get fired, it's possible that you could still be in work-based learning and fail, like any other class. So try to have that positive attitude. I'm not saying that we're gonna always be happy all the time, but have a good attitude. Behavior is important. Try your best never to go to ISS. You should never be in ISS. Check your attitude. We're gonna make sure that we're never going to ISS. Never. If you did it in the past, we're gonna forget about it. We're starting new. Okay, all the assignments must be turned in at the monthly meeting. Partial credit assignments will be turned in for if you give it to me after 5 days, probably the most that you'll get is 50. Really, I should just say it's 0, but the most you'll get is a 50 if it's after 5 days. So try to get it in before that time. And I will give you reminders, the next assignment is this time, so don't forget. And if you need my help on how to fill out something, most students will come to me and say, Ms. Hatcher, did I do this right? But I noticed last year that students would start sending me messages the night before, like at 10 o'clock at night. I knew they were starting at 10 o'clock at night on that assignment. Try not to be that person. Because at a certain point, I'm not going to answer the question. So don't get mad at me if I didn't answer it at 10 o'clock at night. But try to let me know, at least come to me a few days before, a week or so before. If you already, we do have to write a resume. If you already have a resume or some assignment, Ms. Hatcher, this is the resume I have. Do I have to rewrite the new one? No. We can look at that one and tweak it. So those type of things. Next slide. Employer paperwork. This sheet here, this one here, is due by August 1st. So that's on, we come back to school on Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday, August 1st. Make sure that you have all of this completed by your employer and your parent. And my suggestion is to make sure you check off each thing that you know you have. There are some students who may not drive. If you don't drive and someone else is going to pick you up and I'll have a form available for you that you can fill out or have your parents sign to say that they're coming to pick you up to take you to work or that someone else is. But you do need to have your driver's license, your auto insurance, a copy of those things, your health insurance card, and make sure that you signed up with the Remind account. Most of the students here have signed up with Remind. If you have not, I'll have a slide that tells you how to do that as well. So if there's things on here that you don't have, for the most part, the top part is required. The driver's license, the auto insurance, all of this is required. But there's certain forms that you'll have to make copies of. Okay. Maintaining employment is a requirement. You must have a job in order to be in work-based learning. You can't be in work-based learning and not have a job. There is a chance that maybe you want to change your job because you don't like it or you found a better job, but you need to give your employer at least 2 weeks notice. You need to let me know as well. Because part of my job as a work-based learning coordinator is to come to your job. And most embarrassing for all of us is I go to a job and they say, oh, they don't work here anymore. So we want to make sure that if you need to change your job that you let me know in advance. Next one. We have a program called Canvas. I think most students are familiar with it, and I will also put assignments there. I'm gonna have it so that you can upload certain assignments. Certain things I want a hard copy of, and the timesheet is one of those. And Canvas is a program I just started working with last year, so some things I'm still learning. But Canvas allows students to upload assignments, so I know that I don't lose it, you don't lose it, you don't. Ms. Hatcher, I gave you the assignment, don't you remember? Most of the time, it's very rarely I'll lose it. In most cases, it's a student who did not turn it in. So if we turn it into Canvas, there's no reason for me to say, or you to say you didn't turn it in. If on the Remind account, if you change your cell phone number, you must rejoin with Remind, because otherwise you won't get the messages on that part. Next slide. We will have some mandatory events. One of them is the Rising Professionals, the Industry Tour, and Employer Appreciation. Rising Professional is an employment skills seminar where students learn about how to go on interviews, how to have good internet behavior, internet etiquette, social media etiquette, making sure that you're not putting things on the internet that are inappropriate. If you've done that in the past, don't do it anymore. You know, you don't need to have pictures of you smoking, drinking, doing things that are inappropriate on social media. No bullying, things like that. Industry tours, when we go out to either Six Flags or we may go to Lake Point, and you get to see how, you get to learn more about the different jobs that are available in those type of places. That's an industry tour. Employee appreciation is when you get to, we're gonna have an employee appreciation banquet where you get a chance to show your appreciation to your employee, and we give out certificates at that time. Those 3 events at the most will cost $15, and it's due at least 2 weeks before the event. And the participation and attendance account is required, and it counts for a grade. I know that they, Miss Monica, Miss Britza said that she is going to try to apply for grants. And if we apply for a grant, you may not have to pay the $15 or it'll be reduced, so it'll be in that kind of situation. The safety sheet, it looks like this. It is your first assignment that is due. Let me get it out. Looks like this. And this sheet here kind of gives you the answers to a lot of the questions. This is your first assignment that will be due on August 10th. Our first meeting will be August 10th. And one of the things we want you to make sure is that you understand what is this unsafe working environment. We also want you to know the difference between, we want you to know what the OSHA rules are, what labor laws are, dress code, making sure you understand the dress code for your company. Harassment is really important. We don't want you to feel like you're being harassed at your job, and we want you to make sure you let us know if you feel like you're being harassed at your job. And harassment comes in all kinds of forms. It's not just sexual harassment. Sometimes people may say things that are inappropriate to you, and you feel like, let your parent know, let me know, so that we can address those situations as soon as possible. Next slide. If you see something when you're on campus, and you will be leaving earlier than most students will be. We will also have ID cards so that you can show it to the person who's at out in the parking lot, so that they know that you can leave on time, that you can leave early. But if you see something that looks weird outside, let someone know. Let me know. If it means you have to text me, if it means that you have to let someone in the front office, Miss Hatcher, there's something. Let us know if you see something weird going on campus. Students have the opportunity to earn a graduation cord, and we will have a sheet available to students that tells you how you can earn a cord. Some of the things that you do to earn a cord would be to join our Twitter or Instagram account, attending meetings and interview attire, joining a CTSO. CTSO is like DECA, there's HOSA, so joining those organizations and attending their meetings. we really do and try to encourage you to join a CTSO. Work ethic, meaning like working at the same job for the whole school year, you get points for that. Community service, leadership, things like that. Oh, also, I know I had one student that told me that they were going on a college tour. If you go on a college tour, you get points for that towards your cord as well. Just make sure you take a picture of yourself in front of something that's at that college so we know you were at that college and you get to show it to them. On the first day of school, you will meet in my room during the time that we check out. You plan on staying at school that whole day, that whole time during that period. Because I do have to check your paperwork. That would be this check sheet that we have here. I do have to check this for each student, so I need the time, and you need the time to do that. So plan on being there for the whole day, for that whole period. I know we had some students who are doing dual enrollment, so they're coming here just for that meeting, or at that time. Pay attention to the school calendar to make sure that you're here on testing days. Make sure that if you have to take a test, like the end of course test and things like that, your employer knows, oh, I can't leave school early that day because I'm taking whatever test it is that you're taking. Next. On the Remind.com, this is the way that you would join Remind you would type in at EPHS WB at Remind.com once you join in. If you have not joined Remind or if you have not been getting my messages, please let me know. I can also sign you in to Remind as well if I need to. Job opportunities. Most students have jobs and there may be a few who don't. I know that Chick-fil-A is hiring. I know that Zaxby's is hiring, and there may be some people who want to work in the office. I have it here. The Paulding Educational Foundation, they need a intern to work at the Paulding Education Foundation, which is at the board, and you would do event planning. They don't pay you, but they will give you a $300 stipend. The other place and they need you to work 3 hours, at least 3 hours twice a week. 3 hours a day, twice a week. So that's like 6.5, we're gonna make it at least 7.5 hours. The airport is also looking for an office intern, and it's unpaid. Those positions, and I know sometimes students don't want to work and not get paid to work, but these positions here give you a great networking opportunity, and they can turn into possible jobs or find out about other jobs later on. There was one student that worked not here at East Paulding, but at South Paulding High School, that worked for the Sheriff's Department. It was unpaid, but by the time he was about to graduate, they hired him on full time. So sometimes, even though you're not getting paid, it's a door that opens up for you later. All right, now I'm going to open it up to any questions. Anyone have questions?
Tell them, like is it still the 2-week time to change jobs? You have 2 weeks?
Yes, you have 2 weeks she asked if she wanted me to remind you about the fact that if you're going to change jobs, you need to at least give a 2-week notice and let me know. If you have any questions whatsoever, there's no silly question, Ms. Hatcher. I'm at this job and I really don't like it and I want to know if I should change, or maybe there's something that you need to say to talk to that employer about, so that we can straighten it out and maybe you can stay there and they need to know about that. But you need to give at least a 2-week notice. Yes?
Like with her, she's working at the Paulding County Sheriff's Department. She's got volleyball for 2 seasons, and Captain Langford at the Sheriff's Department's agreed to work with her during that time so she can get, because it's for like 2 months. How will that work out with work-based learning?
Will she get her hours in?
She's still going to be able, she's going to leave here at 2. They're going to work her till 4 and be back here at 4:30.
As long as she has 7.5 hours for the week,
she'll be fine.
She'll be fine.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes.
Are we allowed to do work-based learning for more than one block class?
It's only for one block.
It's only for one? Okay.
It's only for one block, but you can do it for the whole year. Like this semester, from August to December, you get 1 credit.
Okay.
And if you're in work-based learning next semester, then you get another credit. So it's one whole, you can get 2 credits for this year for work-based learning. 2 credits. One in August and another 1 credit for the January semester. Any other questions? Does everyone have a job? That means yes or no? Okay. If you're looking for a job, I will keep my ears open and I'll keep checking to see who's looking to hire people. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.